Thursday Talks. Hey!
Hi
Hi!
everyone!
Hello! Kamusta kayo?
Very
Okay
okay.
naman. Happy Thursday
Diba? We're back.
everyone!
Happy Thursday and we're back after a rest day Thursday last week. And we
Right.
hope you guys were able to rest as well.
Yes, yes.
Diba? And yes, kayo Mikey and Nico, how have you been?
Ito gumaganda. Char.
Ay, gusto
Ano
natin
lang?
yan.
Ako naman sucks lang. Well,
Sucks lang.
it's been a busy week, I guess,
Right.
because of work stuff. And other than that, I think pretty safe. Okay naman. We're good.
Yes.
That's great.
It felt like ages, no? Parang 1 week lang tayo
Oo.
nagkita. Pero it felt like ages. Parang ang tagal. Dahil ba sa trabaho?
True. I think so, because ang daming happenings
Right.
na kaganapan sa ating
Yeah.
lives, personal and professional.
That's
So,
very
we're back, and it's the last Thursday of February, guys.
Yay!
Yes. Ang bilis, no? Grabe.
Yes,
So, it seems like only yesterday na kakapasok lang ng New Year. And now,
Yep.
we're almost done with the first quarter.
for the first quarter, exactly, right?
Diba?
Cute.
And I
Kakaiba
think
talaga.
I personally like the things that we've talked about this entire month, starting with the self, right? And then
Mhm.
our episode last Valentine's Day was really very special. And yes, diba, we had a very interesting episode on our virtual blind date.
Yes, that was
Ano,
so fun, actually.
diba? Ang saya-saya nun. So thank you once again to our participants, and hopefully
Right.
we'll have more of those, diba, in the future.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And maybe we can expand it, to include members
Right.
of the LGBTQ community.
Right. Expand
Correct.
tayo. Oo.
Great. Sure, it'll be fun.
Ang popogi pa ng mga nakuha natin, no? As in.
Oo nga, grabe yung kilig levels ko nung day na yon. Yes, di ba? Parang I was so involved in the
Super.
conversation.
It was more of the responses for me kasi yun nga, parang
Yeah.
we couldn't see that, right? So their faces were hidden, their cameras were off. So we were just listening to what they were saying. And the way that they
True.
were answering the questions, even though they said at the end na parang nahirapan sila, but their answers were actually really, really good. And there were
True.
moments wherein one was sort of like, well, had a different opinion than the
Yeah.
other, which was really, really good
Oo.
because that means that they're really different individuals and they have their own opinions.
Correct. Sabi ni Maki, drop their socials. Ang pogi nila both. Yes!
Yes,
Uy,
Maki, I
pasensya
agree.
na. Very
And
private sila.
yes, ang gaganda ng mga sagot nila, can I say, even if they didn't always have the same ideas, no, and perspectives. That's what made the conversation so interesting. And you also have our searcher who was also her own person, diba?
Right.
Beautiful person in and out, si Apple. So thank you so much once again for joining us, Apple. That was such a
Very true.
lovely evening, and we
Thanks,
hope
Apple.
they enjoyed talaga.
Very true, very true. Oh, by the way, today is
Enjoy.
the Ads People Revolution anniversary.
Yes, happy
Yes.
holiday. As we commemorate
Let us
A very
Correct.
historical moment in the lives of Filipinos.
True, true.
Let us remember the lessons of EDSA. Let
Mm-hmm,
us not
mm-hmm.
rest until we get the government that we deserve.
That's
Hmm.
true.
True. Kaya
Never
magparehistro na kayo.
again.
Sabay ganun.
So yes,
Correct.
please go out, register. Guys, you now have until September to register, and Comelec is open on Saturday. So there is no excuse to not get registered. Please go
Mikey,
out.
True.
naalala ko na naman si Bads. Nakuha ko attention niyo.
Sino?
Later, Gwenny. Share namin. Later.
Yes, yes, please.
Kasi,
Oh my God, Nico.
naalala ko na naman.
Yes. So hi to the people in the chat.
Yes.
Oo
Um,
nga eh.
Hi
Joy is here.
Joy.
Hey, hey,
Hi
hey.
Mark, Maggie,
Aki's
and
Hi,
here.
Maggie.
also
Hi,
Hello.
Joy.
I think Darwin is here. And he's just not chatting, but I think Darwin is watching. So
Oh,
Darwin,
hey, Darvin.
but Darwin, it's already midnight where you are. So if you need to rest, go ahead and do so.
Tulog ka na.
Correct. You can watch it some other time. It's gonna be on YouTube. So
Yes.
True.
okay.
No, it's February, the end of, the last Thursday of February, right? So, ang bilis lang, no? Buti na lang nagkaroon tayo ng speed dating dito, biglaan, no? But I think it's been a good 2 months for us. We've been talking about self, right? So we'd like to end February with another question, siguro. What you think?
Yes,
Mm-mm.
absolutely. Let's go ahead and show them. Huh?
So what is
What
your
is your
purpose?
purpose?
Ang lalim.
Yun. Medyo malalim. At first glance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, parang you
What
don't
is
really
your
have to.
all-purpose floor? Flour.
Oh my God, Sir Will said something like that.
Oo, sabi niya sa Twitter.
Sabi niya, tapos tinanong ko, ano ba to, kung Magnolia or Nestle Screen.
Nestle
Yes.
Scribs.
Lumalabas yung edad. But in any case, yeah. So there were some who were sort of like what do you call that? Anxious because
Mhm.
it sounded like a really heavy topic. And I think that's where people normally go. Now when you're asked what is your purpose, that this sort of like what is your life purpose kaagad yun naiisip nila.
Anong
Yeah.
Pero
silbi mo? Charot lang.
parang anong silbi
Diba?
mo sa
Parang,
mundong to,
parang ang
right?
heavy.
Pero hindi naman talaga kailangan ganun ka-heavy agad
True.
because it can be something that changes for one, diba? And also it can be something that is different for everyone. So you don't really have to be pressured, I guess,
True.
in defining it. At least, don't rush yourself into defining it.
Mm-hmm,
But it
mm-hmm,
is
mm-hmm.
something that I think we all need to have, whether
True.
it's a life purpose or whether it's a job purpose, whether it's a personal thing or whether it's a professional thing. It can all be, I think, different. So,
Diba? Sabi nga ni Mikey, wag daw masyadong ma-stress, sabi nga ni Maki, no? May purpose
Mm-mm.
magawa ng pub materials ng BBS. Yes. Don't stress.
yes, yun, di
Yes.
ba?
It's very
So,
purposeful.
correct. It can be your purpose in a barkada. It can be your purpose in a group.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pero kayo ba, like, have you ever asked this question or has anybody asked this question? Na parang, anong purpose mo sa buhay? May ganun ba? Or naisip mo ba, ano bang ang silbi ko sa buhay? Diba? Ano ba yung ambag ko sa mundo? Char. Ganun ba?
Well, as a philosophy major,
Yeah.
I think it was something that I contemplated and sort of like
Talaga?
struggled with at a very young age.
Okay.
Yeah. Kasi, di ba, para when you take up philosophy, at least in my personal experience, when I took up philosophy, it made me question a lot of my principles and beliefs.
Right.
And a lot of my
Philosophy ka ba, Mikey?
Oo, filo yan.
philosopher talaga
Nag-philo
ako.
ka, nag-philosophy ka
Pilosopotaso.
pala. I wanted that
major
course
talaga
too.
ako. Hindi philosophy talaga ako, guys. San Beda
Okay,
College,
now I get why we mesh well, all four of us. Joke lang. No, I mean, I'm seeing a pattern, di ba? Ben and also Nico as well and myself. Anyway, go ahead, please.
Okay. Yes. Hello, VR. Hello, Popoy.
Hi, VR and
Hi, VR.
Popoy. Good evening.
Papa is here
Yes,
from
thank you for tuning
Ayan.
in.
a
join.
random show.
Please join in the
Gwenny,
Yeah, but
conversation.
when I was
Gwenny po.
studied, and of course we had a lot of discussion. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Mikey, go
Yes.
ahead.
wala si Gwen. But anyways, yun, parang it made me question a lot of my thought processes, my values, my principles, and ideals, right? So I did ask that. And when I was very young, I really didn't know what my purpose was, but I knew that I would find it along the way. Because, parang one of the things that I thought of was I don't really have to rush into finding out what my purpose is because I'm still very young. I mean, the world is basically out there, you know.
True.
So I'm not going to find out in the classroom. So I have to be out there to be able to experience it and to be able to figure it out for myself. So I mean, that's
Right,
the kind
right.
of thinking that I latched onto, diba? As for people asking me what my purpose is, nobody has really asked me that, but I think people have asked like, "What is your goal in life?" Yung mga ganun, diba? Or what do you
Mm,
do? Or what are you into? Or what are your hobbies? Or what are your interests? Yung mga ganun bagay, diba? So I think that ties into what your purpose might be,
mm,
because
Mm-hmm.
if you know what your purpose is, then the things that you do naturally so parang your purpose mo is tied to the things that you usually do, right? Or it might be the other way around. The things that you do
mm.
typically become and form what your purpose might ultimately be. Diba? Kasi
Right.
without
Mm-hmm.
consciously thinking about it, if you keep doing the things that you like, if you keep doing the things that you love, then eventually you will find your purpose by doing those things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think I have a lot of thoughts about it and I've thought about it a lot. Um, but basically, purpose, I guess, if we were to put a definition to it, is um, what you're passionate about, what you enjoy doing, what makes you happy,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully, it's what makes you earn a living.
Mm-hmm.
Diba?
True.
Ayun. Sasagutin ko na ba yung what
Ideally.
is your purpose or later on na ba?
Maybe
Later.
later. Yes,
Okay.
later.
Oh, sabay. So that's
Pero
my thoughts on purpose.
Oh, nice.
ikaw ba, Gwenny? Parang, what do you think about this question? Has anybody like asked you this question? Or ikaw ba, natanong mo na ba sa sarili mo? Ano ba yung purpose ko sa buhay?
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think someone outright asked me this question. Kaya
Mm-hmm.
lang, bilang, di ba, sa background ko din, psychology, behavioral sciences, I
Mm-hmm.
encounter this question, this topic a lot,
Okay.
whether directly or indirectly. It's not new to me to hear this statement, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't recall ever answering the question for myself, but I
Okay.
normally recall facilitating this question for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So, ngayon, parang it's making me realize na, shocks, hindi ko pala ito natanong sa sarili ko. Nobody really asked me naman
Yeah.
this question. And it's just that parang ngayon yung question of what's your purpose just really dawned on me recently. I don't
Okay.
have the answer yet completely, but yung awareness of it and that it has value to actually find my purpose.
Okay.
Ngayon ko lang talaga nare-realize and ngayon ko lang siya nabibigyan ng attention. Although
Nice.
I feel naman na dun sa pinagdaanan ko in life, yung tinahak kong path is kind of, in a way geared towards something. Hindi naman ako kasi palikuli-ko ng daan. I mean,
Mm.
you know, I feel like I'm on the right track. Thankfully, I think I'm one of
Yes.
those who are
You were born this way.
fortunate enough. Oo, oo, na parang kumbaga, I guess I took computer science in college, but that was just
Okay.
like one semester, and then after that, parang I was able to really get on a path that I feel like I need to be in terms of um, realizing my purpose. So parang I feel like sinuwerte lang din talaga ako, but um,
Mm.
in terms of it unfolding, kung ano yung itsura niya and kung ano yung magiging um, impact niya, magsa-start pa lang, alam mo yung ganon.
Right.
So,
Right.
like
Right.
what Mikey said, it has to be inclined with what you're passionate about.
Right.
Otherwise, it's very difficult to live your purpose, and siguro yung talagang gawin mo siya, 'di ba? Parang make it reality and to live it and to pursue it. If it's not something that's related to your passion. Kaya lang kasi parang pag pinakinggan natin yung word na purpose, ako nung una ko siyang narinig, ang understanding ko is anong, like what you said, ano bang silbi mo, anong naitutulong mo, anong naiaambag mo sa mundo. And sometimes when you look at it that way,
Lumpiang Shanghai. Char.
oo, parang it feels like it feels like kahit hindi mo siya na-enjoy, if that's your
Ganun ba?
role, then that's, 'di ba? That's your place in the world. I don't think I don't think it's supposed to be seen that way as literally as that, but
Okay.
I would rather look at it as something that you're passionate about, and
Mhm.
therefore it makes you a good contributor in the world that you live in. So I think it's as simple as that. Something that you like
Right.
doing, and
Right.
something that you like enough to be good at, so that you can later
Mhm.
on be a good contributor to the world because of it. Parang
Kasi
ganon.
happy in this
Oo.
position mo. You feel good
Oo,
about what you're
oo.
doing. So you tend to like
Mm.
push more to be able to help other people. That makes sense. Yeah. Before I share my thoughts on purpose, like have I actually asked this question to myself? Has anybody asked? So let's just read some of the comments no, in the chat. We have
Yes,
Mm.
yes. Oh
so
my gosh, I
many.
was about to say.
So Popoy is actually one of the
Ito
Twitter
Popoy.
Ticos. The random
Hey.
session. Yung kinikwento kong
Hey,
podcast sa'yo kanina.
Popoy. Ah,
So,
really? Oh,
fellow
hi.
podcasters. Ayan. So he's saying that to live a purpose-driven life, as to what is that purpose, I'm still searching for it. Sabi nga ni Mike, sabi nga ninyo, no, parang hinahanap pa rin natin. No? Hoping that one day we will realize that we've been living our purpose already. Totoo, kasi you can't be
Very
so
true.
like, so stringent about and rigid about it. Na parang ito na yung life purpose ko, and then all through and through, like your life, yun na yung buhay mo, hindi pwedeng ganun. Kasi nagbabago di ba? So yun, pag-uusapan
Yeah.
natin later, ano yung ibig sabihin ng purpose? I think Mikey was able to give us a glimpse of a definition of purpose. But later, pag-uusapan natin ng definition. Maki's saying that his purpose is to make the world more desirable to live in the next generations. That's very
Yes. Very
definitely
To leave a
true.
legacy for the next
to
in
live a legacy.
line.
Leave this
Definitely. And
world behind better than it was.
True.
right. Siguro by the time, yung next generations makakapunta na ng Mars. Char. Mars, andyan rin.
Oh
Correct.
my gosh, yes. That's actually,
Or lahat na nagmamahalan pa rin ang magkasalan kahit anuman.
Yes, agree very much.
yes. True.
And of course, ito naman ang birthday boy natin, Lance Lucas.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
Birthday
birthday!
Lance!
Yay!
Lance! Longest celebration.
Gusto ko yung sagot niya. My purpose is to refurbish, reholster, and then repurpose. Yes!
Pwede ba itong i-reupholster, Lance? Kailangan ko. Pag-i-reupholster.
Mikey, i-reupholster na yan para hindi na
The
mabit.
3 R's.
Parang hindi na mapid. Totoo. VR.
Hindi ba
True,
reduce, recycle, and reuse?
Purpose rin
Yeah.
naman. Tatlong hours pa rin. Yes.
Right. I think we'll be reading through some answers later naman, no, Mikey, from
Yes,
Twitter.
I'm
Yes.
excited.
We have
And
some
I'm so
answers
excited
from
to read what you guys have to say.
Yep.
Yun, yes.
Siguro,
Very
ang first
true.
question we need to ask siguro ourselves kasi maraming definitions ng purpose. Eh. What is purpose anyway? Before we actually identify our purpose at the moment, not necessarily life purpose. What is purpose? Hindi pa pala ako nag-share ng thoughts ko. No? Sige, share
O
mo na ako.
mag-share ka muna ng thoughts
I'm
mo.
very quick. Ang daming sinabi. Siguro, ito yung initial thoughts ko, piggybacking on what Mikey said. Ang purpose kasi, hindi pwedeng life purpose. Kasi pag life purpose, buong buhay mo, yun na yung purpose mo, yun na yung silbi mo. Parang nagbabago kasi siya, no? So ako, parang instead of saying life purpose, I would say momentary purpose. Anong purpose mo at the moment, di ba? Kasi nagbabago siya eh. Like, for example, last year, I felt like I wanna write, I wanna make films, char, ganon. Then ngayon parang nagbago siya. Parang iba na yung pakiramdam kong gusto kong gawin sa buhay. Alam mo yun, parang it changes. So, I think I think momentary purpose should be like the right term to use here. Ano ba yung purpose mo at the moment? But aside from that, siguro yung cultural nuances then. There are two types for me, ha? There are two types of purposes kasi. Parang there are imposed purposes. Ano bang imposed purposes? Alam mo yung pag nasa
Mm.
family ka, 'di ba? And then people will say, "Uy, panganay ka or ikaw lang kasing kumikita." I mean, your purpose is to serve your
Breadwinner.
breadwinner ka. Pero ang tendency is nalilimitahan yung potential mo, sabi nga ni Mikey, to become. Because you to realize your purpose is to become who you are and who you want to be or
Mm-mm.
probably who you can become in the
Mm-mm.
future. So ang tendency is, di ba, so since na-impose yung purpose na yan sa'yo, parang wala ka ng choice, sige na nga, ito na lang, para mabuhay ako. Which is different. To me, in my head, that's not the purpose what that I want to really share with you guys tonight. It's momentary purpose. It's sabi nga ni Mikey, it's your personal journey. That's your purpose.
Yes, I
Pwedeng
completely agree.
i-impose ng ibang tao yun. Dapat ikaw mismo natututo at alam mo yun, nare-realize yan sa habang nabubuhay ka at the end of the day. So yun yung initial thoughts ko. Have I asked this question? Yes, but hindi ko pa rin talaga siya masasagot as in. As in, I don't have the clear answer just yet. So, with that, para mas ma-process natin yung thoughts natin tonight, let's answer this question. What is purpose anyway? Parang,
Mm-hmm.
how do you define purpose? What's purpose?
I think no. Starting from where you left off. Actually, I wanna continue from what you said, Naniko.
Yeah.
I think it's important also that people get get to differentiate role from purpose.
Mhm.
Kasi I think that we as human beings, we have a lot of roles that we portray. Where we could be a mother, a father, a sister, di ba, a teacher. Kumbaga, sometimes your role can be synonymous to your profession, di ba?
Right.
Kumbaga, your role in your personal life and your role in your professional life, di ba? So, it's really more of you performing the what's expected of you, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it becomes like a chore, really.
Mm.
But I think what makes purpose different from that is really because it's your choice and you are not obliged into it. And at the same time, even if it's momentary, even if it's at present, it's something that you really identify with.
Right.
It's not something that you have to do because it puts food on the table, or like what
Mm.
you said earlier, na parang naobliga kang gawin yon, but it's really more of you are able to associate with it, you are able to identify yourself with it, and it's something that it's your calling, parang ganon
Okay.
talaga, right? And even if it's like momentary, di ba, kasi the circumstances in our lives really change, and therefore our purpose can also change depending on our circumstances, right? So,
Yeah.
um, yun. So for me, it's something that is more of your calling talaga, whether it's long term or short term.
I like that. What's calling? Parang, yung kunwari, mga madre,
Yung
di ba?
magre-ring yung phone mo, ganon, calling.
Nakakainis.
Nakakainis.
Diba? It could be Viber, it could be
Oo.
Messenger.
Kunwari, your,
Joke
your
lang.
mom is calling, ganyan. Or jowa is
Yes,
calling.
that's your calling. Yes. Joke lang. Okay, go.
What's
What's
calling?
calling?
Di ba kunwari sa mga madre, nuns, di ba? It's their vocation, right? To become a priest, to become a nun, is a calling. Di ba? Ano ba yung calling anyway? Parang, is this like an inner feeling that you have towards something? Ganun ba? What's calling?
I think that's what
I
it
think
is.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead, Mikey.
Diba? Kasi parang ano parang when you say something is a calling, it's like it's something compelling. It's something
Mm.
unavoidable. It's something that
You
sort
gravitate
of like
towards.
correct, diba? Parang in a way, it's sort of like something that tugs at you and pulls you in that direction, whether you like it or not. I don't know in
True.
Okay.
that sense. So
It
parang
doesn't start that way all the time. You
Right, right.
liking
yeah,
it.
right. I
I
mean,
agree.
I for one have never felt a calling,
Uh-huh.
but I think for me, purpose is something that gives you life. if you can
Okay.
say that, diba? Para it's something that you that makes you wake up in the morning and then makes you want to go to the next day, or it's something that you want to do throughout
Mhm.
your life. So it's really hard to define actually, but
True.
siguro purpose. Ano ba yung ano ba yung that one thing that you see yourself doing that
Mhm.
makes you feel fulfilled,
Yes,
Okay.
and
fulfillment.
also,
Correct.
There we go.
diba? And also something that um, in a way allows you to be able to trainer by profession, diba? So it's something that I love doing because I love interacting with people and I love learning from them as much as I love sharing what I know. But it's also a
Mhm.
way for me to give back, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But in
Right.
giving back, there's no lack of me gaining as well. Kasi parang it's a two-way process. It's a two-way street. Kumbaga. So I think that's basically what purpose is. Parang it's it's that thing that you wanna do and keep doing.
Right. Right.
Siguro I'll
Right.
stop
Right.
there.
I think it's I think passion, it's passion lived or
Okay. Live.
passion pursued,
Right.
'di ba?
Right.
And then it also yields fulfillment, 'di ba? Parang in a way, passion is the raw version of it, and then when you process it, it becomes purpose when you put it into action,
Mm,
and it impacts people, it impacts you, it makes your existence worthwhile. Then I think that becomes purpose.
yeah. Yeah. Kasi tama eh. Kasi kung gusto mo lang ginagawa mo, that's just passion, correct? But if it's translated
Mhm.
into something concrete and people are benefiting from
Yes,
it, then that
yes,
becomes
yes,
purpose. Tama. Yeah.
correct.
Ah, interesting. Yes.
Like for
Oh,
And I think
example,
Lance is
my kunwari,
asking,
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
Lan.
It's
What's
trying
the
to
difference
differentiate it.
between
Yeah.
ayun
purpose
eh.
and
I think
calling?
that's what we were talking about, Nico.
Yeah. Correct. Correct.
Siguro ano eh, yun,
Yeah.
parang, I think, I don't know when this is just me talking, this is just my head, my thoughts. So, calling kasi parang, I've always associated the word calling with something of a higher purpose. Alam mo yun, parang
It's like you're
when you have,
destined to be it.
correct, and
It's
when we
what
say
you're meant to
calling
be and
kasi,
meant to do.
correct. So parang when we receive a calling, it's like I think it's more of being of service to others eh. Yun yung
Correct.
Okay, I get it.
calling eh. Alam mo yun? Like, for example, a
Because
priest get a calling,
you
nuns
can't
get a
call it
calling.
calling kung it's just self-serving.
True. True. True.
That's true. That's true, right? And I think, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with you setting your own direction and carving your own purpose, di ba? Kasi lahat naman
True.
tayo self-determining talaga eh. Pero I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
in terms of calling, I don't think everyone gets a calling, but everyone gets a purpose
Answers.
Agree. Agree.
or creates a purpose for themselves.
Right.
Sorry.
Yun.
Talaga lumili ko yung brain ko.
Gwen,
Not
kumusta naman?
everyone gets a calling, but everyone has a phone anyway. Not everyone gets a calling, but maybe some people get a texting.
Yes. Yes. Pero,
That's
nakakainis.
Or maybe a
or everyone gets
tagging
the
at some
DMs.
point. Oo,
Or
Oh
everyone
my
gets a tagging. Oh my
kainit.
God, Gwen.
Joke lang.
I
Commercial lang.
love it.
pero Mikey, ano,
But,
maganda. Parang, it's a good discussion. Parang, I think not everybody has a calling. That's true.
true.
When we start with purpose, and yun nga, yung pagkaka-explain nyo yan, na parang something that you live purpose, that's the right. I think I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Pero if
Live
it becomes a
passion.
calling, then it's still a purpose, diba? But not everybody has a calling, right? Kasi kunwari, I mean, you translate or you interpret live purpose as a calling, then it's a calling, diba? At the end of the day. But not all calling is actually a purpose, diba? So kung gusto mo magmadre of service to other people, and you feel that it's your purpose, then go for it, diba? Pero not everybody is heading that way, diba? So,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Yeah. And also, I think more what makes it really meaningful to you is your perspective about it more than your definition of it. Um,
Mhm.
True to what Nico is saying, di ba? Parang not everybody gets a calling, but even if you don't, that it doesn't mean that you don't have a purpose. Because I
Right.
guess it's really how you look at it, how you look what you choose to pursue, whether it's a
Mm,
passion. Kasi sometimes
mm,
your passion may or may not be your purpose, or may not be inclined to your
true.
purpose, right?
True.
So I guess it's really how you make sense of it and um, get fulfillment from it rather than really strictly defining it per se talaga na, oh my gosh, is this a purpose? Parang, what really is purpose? Is it my calling? Is it? So parang, I guess, really more feeling through it, like what you
Right.
guys are saying. It's really more, more abstract. It's not
Right.
something tangible. It's not an object, no? So, it's really difficult na to single out in one definition, but I think it's really more of how people are able to identify with it,
Right.
'di ba? And if it's something that makes your existence worthwhile, colorful, meaningful, and something that you are happy ultimately doing,
Okay.
it gives you meaning, then I think, regardless whether it's a passion, it's your calling,
That's right.
or yeah, purpose, then I guess yun na yon.
I
Yun
agree.
na
And
yon.
I don't really have to add anything to that because both of you basically encapsulated like a good definition already, like in concrete terms. We don't really have to be so philosophical about it. I think you made mention of like identifying with purpose. That's one. Definitely, kung nag-identify, you relate with that purpose, then that's your purpose, right? And but I
Mm.
also like what Mikey said, that there's a sense of fulfillment. I think identification with the purpose and fulfillment, it makes you feel good, then that's your purpose. Diba? Just to simplify it. Kasi ang daming, alam mo na
Yes,
gugulo naman sa
super.
question. Eh, na,
Tsaka
what's your,
lumalalim.
malalim siya, diba? So we don't really have to be so
To
existential
define it,
about it.
yes, yes, true, true, true,
Very
true.
true.
So ako, I would stick to what you said. Like, it's identification with the purpose and then fulfillment. I'm good with that. That's purpose to me. Diba? Which is
True. Agree very much.
yes. Ang next question talaga natin is after we know what purpose is we go through three questions for us to know our
Mm.
purpose tonight. And we're gonna be doing it, tayong tatlo, with our friends in the chat.
Yes, exact.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Oh my god.
But, 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 but before that, let's say hi to Jakey first. Jakey,
Hi.
Hi,
ayan.
Jakey.
Hey, he's here.
Hi.
What's up, what's
Hi,
up?
Jakey.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Sir
Jakey
Will.
and Sir
Sir Will is
Will.
also here.
Sir Will is also in the
Hey,
chat
hey,
room.
Yes.
all right, so ready na ba
Again.
tayo sa question? So ang question talaga natin for us to know what our purpose is, we have three questions. We're familiar with Ikigai, di ba?
Ikigai,
Yes.
yes.
And then when I di ba sa group chat natin, when I threw that question, are we talking about Ikigai? Sabi ni Mikey, wag na masyadong technical kasi baka hindi na masaya yung mga tao sa nanonood.
O hindi naman.
Kasi parang, honestly like ako I like Ikigai as a concept, pero hindi ko talaga siya ma-translate in real life. Kasi,
Oh, yeah.
ang dami,
Complicated siya,
it's
actually.
complicated. I mean, ang daming pag-intersperse ng passion, dedication, mission. Parang it's kinda, I don't know, overwhelming
May
for me.
Venn
So,
diagram pa.
oo, tapos yung sa gitna, parang, hindi ko siya ma-conceptualize in my head. Parang, tapos, paano pag, di ba, ang daming questions. Anyway, tapos meron pang na-integrate pa yung profession doon na dapat kumita ka or something, di ba? So parang,
Okay.
di ba? Parang it depends eh. It depends on how you define. But we just narrowed everything down to three questions. And for those of you watching in the chat, do go through these questions with us. So kami tatlo sasagutin namin tong tanong na.
Oh, please.
Okay? All right. So first question. All right. So we can list down as many as we can. Kung may sagot na tayo, go ahead. We can share. All right. First question is, what do you like doing at the moment? Ano ba yung nagpapa-fulfill, nagpapa-excite sa'yo at the moment? Tama ba yung question ko? Yes.
Okay, personally,
Go.
syempre, personally, spending time with my loved one. Tapos, syempre, quality time yung love language ko, diba? At
Cutesy.
saka
Yeah.
physical touch. And
True.
also, I also like these lives that we do,
Yeah.
especially when we talk about topics like this,
Yeah.
or we talk about
Me
issues, or
too.
we talk about series that we love watching. Siguro, top of mind, yung dalawang yun.
Okay.
And well, professionally speaking, it's also training. So,
Training. Okay.
yeah,
So corporate training. Yep. Okay. So you have
that's
three
me.
there with you, Mikey. No. So you have three.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike. All right. Gwenny.
Oh my gosh, actually medyo similar kay Mikey. So, I really like training. I guess dahil nga nasa corporate ako, it's more training, but I think kahit teaching yan, that would still be okay with me. And then of course, I've always been inclined to music. So, music is
Mhm.
also something that I like doing.
Okay.
Kung question is what you like doing, I think I'll have to put that in. But
Okay.
ultimately, because I know where the conversation is going, I'll have to really say that it's talking to people,
Okay.
whether that requires me listening more to them
Hmm.
or doing more of the talking because they need a piece of advice, then I just feel happy doing that, even if it's something that I can actually do it the whole day.
Okay.
Makipagdaldalan.
Right.
Yes,
Right. Wait.
listening
Go.
to people's problems for some reason. I don't want to say I enjoy people having problems, but I gravitate towards it for some reason.
You
Yeah.
like helping people.
Right.
I guess so.
I think ganun ka, Gwenny. No. Parang it feels that like people really gravitate towards you.
Talaga. Ay, thank you.
Oh, kasi like
Kinilig
ako,
ako.
I like to talk to you, 'di ba? So parang may
Yeah,
ganun ka.
same.
Yeah, 'di ba?
Oh, that's nice.
Gusto ko yung sinabi ni Gwenny,
I feel like
parang
it's mutual.
she likes to talk all the time. Gawin kayo natin sa Thirsty Talks minsan hanggang 5 hours tayo, 12 hours
Hala,
tag
oy.
chart.
Just go. Walang tayuan. Patayan.
Oo, oo,
Kaya pala natin.
magkatitirin tayo lahat dito. So, correct.
Grabe, no?
Ano pa, Gwenny?
Thirsty,
Wala.
toxic. That's it. I think I'll stick to that.
Okay,
Those
cool. So you have
three.
two, tama ba? Or three? Three pala, sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Um, Teaching slash training, and then music. So
Mm,
singing probably, or playing
Oh.
playing the piano.
okay, and
And
then
then of course,
Mm.
talking to people. I
talking
think
to
yun
people.
yung pinaka um y- yung pwede kong gawin with other people, I guess. Na
Perfect.
hindi lang siya very individualistic. And also
That's
training,
so
of course.
that's so clear. Perfect, perfect. Ako naman, I'll make it like isa lang talaga na isip
Yes.
ko.
Ah,
Every time
really?
every time that I do work, I always go back to the reason why I do work anyway. I love training, like just the both of you. But I go back to my core. But gusto ko mag-training. So I tried to process it in my head for the longest time. What do I like about training anyway? So I like standing in front of people. I like it when people laugh. I like it when people tell me, "Uy, natuwa ako sa training. Uy, ang ganda ng training. Alright, uy, may natutunan ako." So
Nice.
I like that energy, no? So and here's the thing, and both of you know me as a trainer. I do a lot of things, different things, weird things, diba? Like I try to be
Yeah.
experimental with activities. I try to be so creative. I'm not scared of doing these things. Bahala kayo. I mean,
Mm-mm-mm.
I'd like to commit mistakes. Alam mo yun, depende. But anyway, remember this course, yung conversational English. Mikey
Yes.
taught this
Yeah.
also. And then, ang intro activity ko dun was magdadrama ako. 'Di ba? Remember? And then not everybody was amenable
Oh.
to it kasi hindi nga dramatics yung iba. So parang yung activity na tweak ng konti. So the idea is I get in and then I don't impose like I'm a trainer. I just act out like as somebody else. Parang ganun.
Yes.
Anyway, so and then lahat ng mga training ko na ginagawa ko, there's always a component of performance. Na-notice ko talaga.
Yes. Yes.
And I get excited when I put it in my head that my work is performance. Like it's theater, it's the stage. And I want
Okay.
everybody
Makes
to
sense.
laugh. I want everybody to be entertained. I want everybody to feel good. So, na-realize ko, what I like doing is I like to entertain people. I like to perform. I like people to feel good. And
Mm.
training is just my vehicle, my platform, my stage. But it can actually be any stage. So,
Mm.
like doing lives, just like what Mikey said, this is performance, right? And if people and Mikey knows this, I said this sa isang group namin sa kabila, sa BBS, na parang I feel happy when people are satisfied. And ako
Sure.
natutuwa ako sa ganun. So ako talaga, ang gusto kong gawin is to perform. Really. Life to me is about performance. So kahit pumunta ako dyan sa grocery, it's performance. Kahit pumunta akong laundry, it's performance. Ganon. Basta happy mga tao, okay ako doon. So I think that's what I like doing. So performance can be in any form. It can be me. It can be doing videos. For as long as people tell me, uy, naiyak ako sa video. Uy, ang ganda ng video. Uy, na-happy ako sa video. Okay ako dun. Happy ako dun. Basta may performance na component. So that's what I like doing. I like to perform. Ayan. Uy, magbasa tayo ng ano.
Nice.
Let's read through
Oo
some...
nga eh.
Meron ba tayong nag-share dito? Let's check it out.
Wala naman. Pero Lan said something, 8, what is it, 37?
37, okay.
Yeah. There. What does he like doing? Anything
This is-
creative? Yes, he's a very creative individual. Gaming. Yes, he likes playing video games. Well, games. Pokemon Go, Genshin Impact. DBS, of course. He's a member of our squad. And spending time with a partner. Yeah.
Yes. That's cool. May sinabi din si Sir Will.
Mhm.
I like
Genshin
playing,
and sleeping.
Mhm.
Sino pa naman ang ayaw sa sleeping?
I like sleeping too.
I think, oh, why? Why did you
Oh,
choose
yeah. Oo
sleeping?
nga.
What happened?
Bakit,
Let
Sir
us know.
Will? Let us know. Or baka, yun nga, Gwenny, Mikey, baka nga ang
Changes
sense,
too.
I know. And it's yung sense of purpose, baka nga vehicle lang ni Sir Will yung teaching. Baka there's something else na dapat ma-figure
Yeah.
out.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. I agree.
Jakey shared something to
Sino, Mikey? Sorry.
Jakey, 843.
Okay.
Because, well, Jakey used to be in marketing, but he's also a good visual creative. So
Okay.
he likes creating visuals.
Galing
So the
siya.
creative process and translating, that idea into layout and designs. Yeah, he's also very talented.
Perfect. I saw his posts sa Twitter.
Diba?
Nice! Amazing. Yes.
May explanation talaga sa Sir Will. Dami raw ganap.
Pa-flash ko ba?
Basta maraming ganap. Sa departamentong to. So hindi na pa, hala, what do you mean? So hopefully, alam mo yun, parang teachers are very much sometimes unsung heroes, diba? So it's very
Yeah.
important
True.
to acknowledge the hard work that teachers do, especially
Sometimes
since
it's
they
a
are
thankless job.
very, very much so. And especially since they help shape the future generations, diba? So there should be no lack of support
Agree.
or funding for teachers.
Agree.
Seriously.
Mikey, siguro I'd like to add to that. Siguro yung sinabi ko kanina, yung imposed purpose. Probably it's environmental eh. Kasi ano to eh, sistema to, di ba? Ang pinag-uusapan natin with regards Sir Will's lost, nawala yung passion niya for teaching, di ba? So, I guess yung imposed purpose na lagay sa kanila eh. When in fact, they can be more eh. Kasi teaching is outside the system, the crazy system as we call it. Parang teaching is really a vocation. It's a purpose. It's a calling.
It's a calling, a vocation. Oh, exactly.
Diba? Pero pag pumasok yan sa sistema, ang sistema kasi imposed yan eh. And if the system imposes like a purpose that you have to be this, then nawawala na yung purpose mo, yung potential mo to become eh. So I think that's the reason probably nawala yung passion niya for teaching. It's a sad thing, right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get it back. You know?
Yes.
True.
Yes. Very, very true. Very true. All right, so let's go now to the next question. So, ayun, siguro of the 3 that you have there in your list, Mikey, and for those of you na naglilista sa mga nanonood, no, you pick siguro, you just pick one siguro from your list.
Pick one. Oh my God.
Just pick one. Yung pinang namumukod tangi talaga na parang gusto mong gawin sa buhay at the moment. Yeah, so if you have it in your mind, ang next question natin is, why do you like doing it? Ba't gusto mo siyang gawin? O sige, ako muna. Kasi pabalik
Go!
Siguro I like performance. I like to entertain people for some reason. I like people when they're laughing. I like people when they're smiling. I like
Uh,
people when they feel good. It makes me feel good. Like, it's not about, kasi iba yung performer na narcissistic na all on
mm,
me. Hey, I'm the actor. Sa akin lang dapat yung spotlight. Hindi kasi ganun eh.
mm,
I like to entertain and I validate my performance by looking at people. Diba we facilitate in class sa training natin.
yeah.
When once we see when once I see their faces na masasaya, okay ako, nababalidate ko sarili ko. So, I think I like the feeling that people are happy. So that's why I like doing performance regardless of what it is. Kay video pa yan, kay training pa yan, or any other performance, any kind of performance. Basta happy yung mga tao. For some reason, yon. Yes.
Alam mo, I guess for me, the thing that ties everything together is
Yeah.
connections. I'm all
Okay.
about connections are very important to me. Diba?
Right.
So for example, with a loved one, it's important for me to be connected to that person, like physically, mentally, emotionally, diba? And then my second one was BBS, diba? And our TDX and our lives, because I want to feel connected to a greater community as well,
Okay.
right? And also in terms of training, I like to be connected to people, other people, diba? In the sense that we are intellectually connected. Alam mo yan?
Mhm.
Yes.
So I
Mhm.
think, ano eh, parang for me, it is very, very important for me to be connected because I want to feel a sense of belongingness. Number one, I want to feel a sense of being wanted, and I want to feel a sense of um, purpose.
Okay.
And the other side of the coin, I want to be connected because I want to be able to help people. Number
Okay.
one. Secondly, I want other people to feel connected. Kasi naisip ko nung sinasabi mo kanina eh, parang I'm the type of person who, if there is a party and there's one person who's not talking to anyone, I would probably approach that person and say, hey, kumusta ka? And are
Ay.
you okay? Do you need
Yun
anything?
ka.
Or how do
I
you,
agree.
ano, parang, who do you know in the party? Or di ba, parang ganon. Kasi I know what it feels like to be
Yoy.
sort of like in on the outside and to be an outcast. And that is why parang if I see something who is not connected or disconnected, I would usually make it a point to reach out to that person. Alam mo
Nice,
yun?
nice. I like that.
Yun. Tapos also, I guess in terms of training, I want people to feel connected to the job that they're doing. I
Okay.
want them to be
Mhm.
intellectually connected to it because if there is a some sort of cognitive dissonance or there's some sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
knowledge gap, then I want to connect the gap so that they'll be able to be more effective employees. Alam mo
Right.
yan? So it's very, ayun. Alam mo, ko na naisip yun. So connections. For
Yeah.
me, it's all
Uy,
about connections. Even
alam
Wi-Fi
mo,
connection, nababad trip ako pag wala ako. Globe. Beka naman.
gusto ko yun. Uy, pero alam mo, parang
Lahat ng connections.
what really stuck to me with what you said, yung sinabi mo na pag may nagiging wallflower doon, ikaw yung lumalapit doon sa tao. I can attest to that. I mean, I feel like you're that type of person. So I guess I agree with you, Mikey. Nag-agree daw sa sinabi ni Mikey.
Thank
Yes,
you mo.
I think you really like to connect to people so much. Yes, I agree.
Thank you mo.
Yes. O Gwenny.
Uy, sabi ni
Gwenny,
Lance,
galaw-galaw.
I always see you as the life of the party daw, Mikey.
Uy,
Pinakahuling message.
seriously, I was a
Hoy.
very awkward elementary and high school
Talaga?
person. Even my early college years, medyo
Yeah.
siguro I got better last years of college. And then I learned how to be more extroverted when I started working. So
Yeah.
yun, it was a skill that I had to develop
Hoy.
over
Pero may
time.
question. How do you feel about it now? Parang, are you okay? Like connecting, hindi ka na awkward, you're fine.
Yeah, actually, there are some moments wherein parang I still think about what's the right approach to someone,
Okay.
etc.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
being a Virgo, alam mo naman, medyo overthinker tayo.
Very
Pero
true.
I'm really more confident in reaching out to people, talking to people, and in social situations.
Very much. And
Yeah.
just to add to that, siguro pag kami ni Mikey magkasama talaga, napapagalitan talaga kami. Napapagalitan kami.
Ang ingay.
Yan. Ano yung mga kindergarten? Char.
Yes. So I think that's also a valid point, Nico, di ba? I guess it depends on the environment that you're in, diba? Because if you are in an environment which sort of like shuns your individuality or sort of like has all these restrictions on
Yeah,
your personality, then of course the tendency is for you to sort of like keep to yourself, to hunker down and to be, like quiet or invisible. But
yeah,
if you are in an environment that allows you to thrive in your individuality, then naturally you feel more confident and you'll
exactly.
blossom. Kumbaga.
Exactly. Exactly. And it leads me to one question before we go to Gwenny. Ang hirap din, no? Kasi paano pag wala kang choice and you are set up in that environment? You don't have a choice to like get out of it. So how do you then, kumbaga, concretize your purpose? Diba? I mean, ang hirap. So, diba?
Oo
Okay.
nga. Grabe tong topic na 'to, parang lumalalim siya. But,
Oo
it's
nga.
actually fun. It's actually fun. Kasi parang for me, I think this episode is also a journey for us three. And of course, I'm sure
True.
Yeah.
Ben, if he's watching, is also parang it's like a discovery, a self-discovery episode. And I
Very
think
much.
Yeah.
I'm just myself, I'm finding the answers as we converse. And I think that's
Right.
one thing that I appreciate about this particular episode. Now, to answer that question, ngayon lang kasi talagang pinag-iisipan ko yung mga sagot ko dun sa question.
Mm.
If I were to really analyze why I like talking to people, one thing that I really like about, kasi ini-imagine ko when people share with me, when they open up to me, what makes me really try to engage so much, like intently listen to them, like verbals, non-verbals, what they're saying, what they're not saying. I try to listen to all those things because for some
Mm.
reason, it helps me understand that person more. So,
Mm.
may ganun akong tendency, and I have a feeling that it's probably why people kind of come to me to share, because maybe
Right.
I give that impression that I'm really, parang I probe, I ask questions.
Very
So,
true.
okay, alam mo yun, parang I really encourage them to really parang expound, di ba? And
Right.
sometimes it's
Mm.
just really listening, and then parang it helps me understand people. And I think ultimately what it gives me is really information and knowledge and a deeper understanding of the human being in general,
Oh, okay.
because it's something that I've always been fascinated about even as a child, and I feel like it stems from my childhood and the experiences I've had as a child, wherein I had to, s- I had to find a way to fit in a lot of situations, and therefore I need to understand people so that I know how I can make myself fit in. Parang
Mm,
kailangan ko silang basahin, maintindihan para alam ko kung paano ko ibe-blend in yung sarili ko dun sa situation. Especially that I kind of mostly grew up alone because my parents were always out of the country.
okay.
So,
Mm.
parang having the need to understand people, and then parang at a very young age, I had to go through a lot of experiences. Like my parents separated when I was so young, and parang I had to understand why my dad was so strict and why my mom left so soon. And so I needed to find these answers. I feel like
Okay.
that's why, in a way, I I I identified myself to be that person, always wanting to understand people and always wanting to understand why they do certain things and why they say certain things and what's really their motivation. And that simply gives me a lot of, I wouldn't say peace, pero parang it gives me a lot of answers in life in general na okay.
Okay.
And then nakakatulong siya sa akin. I feel like parang ang
Okay.
pangit, no? It's ultimately self-serving, but at the end of the day, when I hear people thanking me na, uy, salamat pinakinggan mo ko. I really just needed to rant. I just needed to
Mm.
vent out and thank you for, parang then it becomes fulfilling, and then it becomes, it gives me a sense of purpose.
Nice,
So,
nice.
alam mo yun, it's serving me and it gives me the impression that I'm also serving others. So, for me, I would choose that if I were to choose one of the three, it would be talking to people, really. Whether
Nice.
it's listening or being the one doing the talking. Parang ganon.
So,
Ang
parang
haba.
life coach Gwenny, no? Life
Yes,
coach.
yes. Kaya ako
Yeah.
naisip na yun yung tatahakin ko. Like, later in life, that's really my direction. It's really where I wanna go. Because hindi ko naman naisip, hindi ko na-feel na natutuwa ako. Parang it's not like when I was young, I wanna do this. It's more of when people started to talk to me as an adult na, nai-enjoy ko na siya. Alam mo yon. So parang it came later. The happiness and the passion came later. So I guess that's it.
Nice. Nice. Well, I can attest to that also, Gwenny. Minsan sa office, di ba? Umabot ng alas 9 ng gabi.
Oo.
Kakakwento. Si
Oo.
Gwen,
And sometimes sobrang weird ng mga topics. Talagang anything under the sun.
like
Parang I
aliens,
don't judge.
ano.
Like no judgment whatsoever. Yes, I'm the
Uh,
least judgmental person in the room. Whatever it is, just tell me.
I
Alam mo
learned,
yon?
pero dahil nga ganun ka, Gwenny, I learned about Elisa Lam because of,
Oh my God.
Yeah. Di ba? Yung Elisa Lam na yan.
Diyos ko.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's just that you guys are sharing. But we'll say hi first to
Oo.
to Rocky muna. Mikey, ano daw?
Hi, Rocky. Purpose
She's
bed.
baking. That's
Yung
why
kama
she's
daw.
Why? Nabudol daw.
Budol daw sila.
Funny. Purposeful ang
So,
bed.
guys, what are you baking, Raggy?
Anong binibake mo?
Correct. She's baking with a purpose.
Yeah. All purpose
Baker with a purpose.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Well,
Dahil
sagot
dyan, anong sagot mo, Nico?
ako, ako pala sasagot, no? Ayun, I like people when they're happy, when
Ay,
they're
si Mikey. After you, si Mikey. Oh, go.
when they feel good, yeah. Sumagot na ba si Mikey? Hindi pa.
Actually,
Hindi pa.
sumagot na tayo eh.
Si Nico na yung sumagot. Actually, nagkamali lang.
Hindi.
Sorry
Sinagot
na.
mo na Nico. And then me, and then you.
Hindi, pero tapusin mo yung sasabihin mo, Nico.
Ayun na. Yun na yun. As in, I like people when they feel good and they're happy. Sinagot ko rin eh. Na-confuse din ako.
But I like
Ano ba
it when,
ako?
when there's connections. Inulit lang.
In fairness dito sa topic na to, parang I'm at a loss and sometimes parang I really don't I honestly don't have the answers, but I'm just
Right.
discovering as we go.
Wait, actually,
So I like it.
prior to this conversation and live, I had a different answer in my head. And then, nung nag-uusap na
I
tayo,
didn't have an
hearing
answer
you,
in my head.
talaga, tignan mo, it's nice. Kasi hindi talaga yun yung sagot ko dapat in my head. I was thinking of like filmmaking, that's it. And then like hearing you out, I was like, okay, I think it's different. this is good. Okay, we're helping each other. Char. All right, so let's go now to the last question for us to find our purpose. Siguro. Ito naman, can it impact people or the world and how? Pang Miss Universe.
Miss Universe. Correct.
Hi, oo.
Thank you so much for that wonderful question.
Oh, Gwenny, dahil yung buhok mo pang Amy Winehouse, ikaw yung una sasagot.
Oo, kinlamp ko talaga yun na ganyan. Well, can it impact people? Can it? It can. Is it impacting people? I hope so. I think ayoko munang yung world because I think it's a little
Right.
too vast for me because
Okay.
recently ko lang kasi na-realize that I think I'm one of those that you would call a social introvert. So ultimately, I think that I am an introvert, and the conversations that I enjoy the most are the intimate ones, not the
Okay.
public speaking type of conversations. I think in a way, all three of us are similar in that aspect. But Nico, you're more of the the performance in the spectrum. Nandun ka sa performance. Ako yung nandito sa on sa corner and let's talk.
See.
May problema ka, sabihin mo sa akin, gusto mo umiyak ka sa akin. I'm
Okay.
that eh. So parang, but I can manage being in the center of attention. I can perform. But I feel like I'm more in my element kapag kausap ako. And therefore, I feel like how it impacts people is because they probably see me as a wall where they can just, say anything that they like.
Okay.
I'm speaking from
Mhm.
someone who told me this, na
Mhm.
parang binabato niya lang na instead of saying it to a wall, literally to a wall na hindi sasagot, at
Okay.
least
Okay.
I'm that wall who can actually
Parang sounding
acknowledge.
board.
Sounding board. Yes,
Sounding board.
exactly. So, parang I could be that. I could also be, parang I guess it comes from my background also in college kasi guidance and counseling talaga yung
Ah,
major ko, which
Mhm.
I didn't realize. I just took it because there was no other option, and the other option was elementary education. So I
okay.
took I chose the guidance and counseling, but now it parang like I said, parang I feel like I accidentally got on the right path to where I'm supposed to be. And my background in counseling actually helped me because you learn there to ask more questions. And then
Mhm.
people discover answers for themselves while you ask them questions. So
Okay.
Very true.
ultimately, they're taking their own advice. And I really like that opportunity when I get to talk to someone. And sometimes it's not about solving problems. It's just like, sige, ihinga mo lang yan. It could be as simple as that. And I feel like that already in itself impacts people a lot because you
Mhm.
being able to voice it out, diba? And, having someone to talk to, I feel like that's something very valuable because I too would like to have that opportunity if I was
Sure.
going through something. And I'd like to be that person, I guess, na parang dahil nga sobrang interested ako sa tao in general, sa human beings. If vets are ano are interested in animals, I'm interested so much in human beings in general. No
Okay.
matter who you are, what you do in life, regardless, you could be
Okay.
a serial killer and I'll still be so fascinated in you. Um, but di ba, syempre, my point really is that I'm so fascinated in human beings, and um, for me, if I can help in that, put that interest to work and help people help themselves and
Mhm.
be better people, then, be better versions of themselves, then why not, diba? So whether it's through listening to
Perfect.
them or just simply having conversations or training,
Yeah.
feeling ko, doon ako nakakapagbigay ng impact. Kahit nga wala akong
Nice.
sabihin magsalita ka lang, willing na ako doon. And I hope it helps people. So hopefully, pag naging career ko na siya, the world na and the universe eventually. Charot
Perfect.
lang.
Ayan. Gani,
And I thank you.
may impact ko talaga kay Lance. Sabi niya, nadama ko si Gwen. Sabi niya,
Ah,
yan.
Ano
thank
siya?
you. Happy
Ano raw,
birthday dahil
ano
dyan.
raw yung zodiac mo?
Saggy.
Saji.
I'm Saggy. And di
Hmm.
ba, like
Sagicorn
what
pala
it
siya.
says, what it says in the motto of Sag is always the search for truth, the unending search for truth. And I feel like that fire, I'm a fire sign, di ba? Yung arrow ko, and I'm always, kahit sang sulok ng mundo, hahanapin ko yung sagot na yon. And I
Nice.
feel like
Mhm.
this truth is really the truth about human beings and what's the purpose of existence, I guess, and what's special about people. I always parang to me, I always believe yung people are ultimately good and then they just do bad things sometimes, parang ganon. So I always see the good in people. So
Nice.
I don't know. Sabi nga, may nagsabi sa akin may messianic complex daw ako. But I don't believe in such thing. But anyway, masaya ako. Talagang, I think the simple answer is there madaldal lang talaga ako. Machika lang talaga ako and I enjoy that.
So,
So
so
yes.
Gwenny, like having said that, no, do you feel that it's your purpose? Like, do you see yourself
Yes, yes.
becoming like
I
a
can
life
confidently say yes, but don't get me wrong. It's a
coach?
scary thing to pursue because you have to. Syempre, like for example, in the field, di ba? Hindi naman ako like. Of course, I have to make sure that I know that I am also licensed, di ba? If that's something that I need to pursue, it's not. It's
True,
not
true.
an easy road to take, and of
Straight.
course, minsan makukuha mo rin yung emotionally eh. Lalo na me, I'm
Mhm.
empathetic. Minsan nadadala ko yun, especially if I'm so passionate about, listening to the person and minsan yung empathy ko, minsan madadala mo yun eh. And if you do that as a profession or you pursue that, it's not easy, but because you find purpose in it and you find fulfillment, I'm hoping that that will sustain it. Diba? Parang that could be enough to get you through all the challenging parts of it anyway.
Right, right, right.
Loving
Hello.
the Dal Gwen. Thank you, VR.
Alam ko.
Oh my gosh. That's why once I pop, I can't stop. So I'm gonna zip it now.
Ay no,
Or
Thank
nakabagay.
Sagittarius
you.
din daw si Alex Aguirre. Si
Hi,
Aguirre.
Alex Aguirre.
Oy,
Cheers. Who's Alex
From next,
Aguirre?
from next
Whoever
door.
that is
From
Lance.
next door talaga.
Buong
Okay.
Character lang
lahat.
from next door.
Sorry. Sorry
Lutas.
na. Ayan.
Okay lang, okay lang, okay lang.
O game. Who's next? Mikey. Can
Anong
it
purpose ni Mikey?
Pa,
can it,
no, can it impact people in the world? I think,
yes.
yun nga eh, parang, I think it's too big of a task. Well, to impact the world now. But I think in our own
True.
little universe, I think, at least in our own little company, we are able to impact the people that we work with. Kasi
Mhm.
yun nga, di
Yeah.
ba? Parang
Yeah, yeah.
as a trainer, we are able to somehow influence the people that
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
work with. Because number one, there is that trust already built with us and our, not just our title, but I guess in the way that we interact with them. Diba? So it's important that we have that kind of connection with them. And by having that kind of connection with them and by being able to, let's say, share our knowledge and also help them
Okay.
with any challenges that they may have, it does impact them on a personal level because number one, it allows them to learn something from us. Diba? And number
True.
two, if they share something with us, it validates, for example, that what they know is true or what they know is correct or also effective. Diba? So, um, and also in terms of um, the company, when we see let's say, positive results, or when we hear positive feedback, or when we see changes, especially. And not only in terms of behavior, but in terms of the processes that are done. Then, of course, in a way that, in a way, I can say that we did have an impact on the
Mhm.
people that we work with. Diba? So, in terms of personal relationships as well, I think kasi I don't assume eh. I always take it from people's feedback. So when they say na parang, oh, that was a very informative session. I
Okay.
had fun learning.
Uh-huh.
Diba? Parang I picked up so many things. Parang you made me realize this and that, etc. Then it validates that it impacted them in some way. And hopefully, I always impact them in a positive rather than a negative way. Kasi yun naman yung
Mm-hmm.
learning experience na gusto namin i-impart, diba? That it has to be a positive learning experience. They might have some activities wherein medyo may difficulty, but at the end of the day, the learning is more important
Right.
than whatever challenges that they went through during that activity.
That's true. That's true.
So I think it does have an impact. Um,
Yeah.
and also, to me personally, it also has an impact because when I am able to hear these
Mm-mm.
people or the feedback that they provide me, syempre, personally, natutuwa rin ako. Kasi, di ba,
True.
parang it feeds my, ano eh, my, what do you call that? My need for positive feedback. Kasi para ma-reinforce or ma-validate na tama yung ginagawa ko. Di
Yeah.
ba? Kasi importante
True.
yan. You need to be able to know that you're doing the right thing so that you can continue to do the right thing. Although it's almost, well, it's actually as important to learn what things you're not doing so well so that you can improve on them as well. But any form of feedback for me is very, very important. It validates that I need to continue doing this, and it also validates that, hey, you got to change this, make it better, or do it differently. Diba? And on a professional level, parang yun nga, it's the same thing. Parang that kind of feedback allows me to say na parang, okay, so I was able to help them in this way. And perhaps what I did for them, I can do for other members of the company or other departments or whatnot. Diba? So yun, I think that's what it is really. Um, I can only hope to impact what I can impact, and if in case it translates to other things being impacted, or it creates a ripple effect that flows out into the universe, then I'd be so happy. But
Right.
then my only goal really is to help the immediate or to address the
Yeah.
immediate needs of the people that I
Yeah.
am connected to
Right. Right.
personally and professionally. So
Nice.
there.
I like that. Kasi we're looking at results then with people, no? Like,
Yes.
we talk about impact. Ano ba yung nangyayari sa kanila in the first place? And I think that's what I'm
Mhm.
hearing from diba? More than anything. I like what I'm hearing from you guys. Like, it's not really deep. It's not so deep, promise. Hindi talaga siya ganun ka-philosophical. But it's inspiring. I mean, it's
Yeah, me
well,
too.
Thoughts
Na-inspire
lang
ako sa
naman,
to.
thoughts naman.
thoughts lang. These are qualified answers. Hindi ganun kalalim. Defensive talaga ako, Mikey. Kasi,
Oo.
hindi talaga
Sa
siya,
mga
hindi talaga siya
viewers
philosophical.
naman, share nyo rin yung sagot nyo.
So, hindi talaga siya philosophical. It's actually based on experience. Kaya nga nag-share, di ba, tayo ng experiences natin at work, di ba? Um,
True.
ako naman, in terms of what I like to do, like performance, like in any form, it can be like video editing, it can be like at work, ganyan. Um, it does impact people. Imagine this. Both of you have seen like theater performances, definitely, diba? Like
Yes.
musicals,
I
diba? Even
sing the
pag,
theater actually.
right. Diba, Mikey? Dun sa CCP, CCP, PICC, CCP pala, nanood kami. It
See.
was through his cousin eh. Nakakuha kami ng free tickets.
Yes.
Yes! Si Gwenny, nanood din kami ng musical nito, Cats.
Yes.
Cats.
Yes!
Nakatulog talaga ako. si Gwen lang yung nilat. Anyway, so, well, after watching, even sa cinema, di ba, pag lumabas ka, how do we feel? Di ba, we feel good. We feel, I don't know, reinvigorated, di ba? We feel like
Mm.
excited, ecstatic. And I think that's the impact that I have on
Mm-mm-mm.
people.
May
Ako,
spark ka.
oo, na-excite ako
Right.
pag na parang they leave and then they say, uy, I feel good, I feel better or something. Um, Sometimes I need to balance that kasi with the work that we have right now, we're very results oriented. Diba? People need to learn. People need to learn a skill. Ako sometimes, I lose sight of that kasi I like to perform. So, kahit wala kang natutunan, basta happy tayo. Ganon. May mga ganun tendency.
Yeah. And the
But again,
world needs more laughter these
I
days.
know. Yun yung prinsipyo ko talaga. But then again, I had to learn the ropes and I have to be like, we've been in training for years now, guys, di ba? Parang
Mm.
natutunan ko talaga kung paano maging isang trainer kasi you need to be results oriented. But then again, hindi pa rin natatanggal yung pagiging performer ko. I'd like to share also, there was, when I was still in school, yung prof ko sabi niya, anong trabaho mo? Sabi ko, ma'am, trainer po. Okay. Sabi niya, share something about yourself. So, intro, ganyan. Sabi ko, ma'am, I like theater, ganyan, ganyan. Uy, alam mo ba, pag nasa teatro ka, effective kang teacher. Kasi nga parang excited ka to perform eh. Parang with all these
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Eh, full
everything.
energy, yes.
Energy also, hindi ka mapagod, di ba? Parang, ano daw, effective daw yun. Okay daw yun for one trainer daw. And naniniwala talaga ako doon. And for me, kahit napapagod na ako sa araw-araw na ginagawa, things become so routine. Parang paulit-ulit na
Yeah,
lang nangyayari. Minsan may mga changes na, alam mo yun, parang nabibigla tayo, ganyan. Napapagod din naman.
true.
But I still go back to what I like doing, and that's basically to perform, to make people happy. And I think it has impact because parang nanonood ka na ng pelikula, we need that escape eh. 'Di ba? Sometimes we need that escape
True.
from
Mm.
the realities, from the gruesome realities. And once we watch movies, we like watching feel-good movies. Definitely. Ba't ka manonood ng pelikula na kasuklam-suklam, na malungkot, na masasama yung pakiramdam mo, 'di ba? So, nood ka ng something na feel good.
Suklam-suklam.
Oo. So, after
Hmm.
watching,
Nakakapagpabagabag.
oo.
Totoo.
To this question, I think it has an impact to people. And people feel good. Kahit saglit lang. Kahit short escape lang yun for them. It still matters. Kasi at least it gives them hope. Once they go home, they feel good about themselves. And then they wake up again. There's the tinge of hope. Diba? It will actually matter. Or probably not so much. But at least you made that difference during that day. Yun yung naiisip ko lang.
Right.
So it has an impact. Yon.
Mm. I
So,
actually agree with what
Oy, ang
Lance
saya.
said. Because
Yes.
this is something that I also ascribe to, diba?
Right.
So, for example, in a room of 50 people, if there is just one person that actually learned something from one of my sessions, I'd be
Okay.
okay.
I agree. I
Because,
Right.
completely
Right. Right. Right.
agree.
diba? Because that means na parang you made an impact. Pero syempre, hopefully,
True.
you impacted more people, di ba?
That's true.
Pero
That's true.
parang, if there is one person, I would say na parang, hey, I've done my job. Alam mo yan? So,
Yeah. Nakakaiyak. Nafe-feel ko.
di
Affected
ba?
ako.
Yeah, pero maganda yun. Like, for
Yeah, I
example,
feel that too.
after class, kunwari, may lalapit sa'yo. So, syempre, pagod ka ng magturo, di ba? Lalapit sa'yo, uy, sir, maraming salamat ha. Ano, parang ready na ako magtrabaho. Hindi na ako natatakot magtrabaho. Di ba, isang tao lang yun ha? Pero
Mm,
that's an impact eh. Malaking
Mm-mm,
value
mm-mm,
yun for
mm-mm.
you. Di ba?
very
Kahit isang
true.
tao lang yan. Yes.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Si VR din.
Yeah.
Kasi, as I mentioned earlier, intention, behavior, impact.
Thank you
So he
naman.
said,
I'm
what
glad.
we do here does have impact. I personally take something with me after
Ay,
watching you guys each week. Oh, thank you guys.
Ay,
nako,
thank
brother.
you. We're very glad we are. We're very
Oh.
happy.
Sabi ko nga sa
Thank
Twitter,
you
di
sa
ba? Uy,
inyo.
nagmamakaawa na ako. Parang awa nyo naman, manood na kayo sa amin. Diyos ko.
That's funny.
But
Ayan.
this is a very good conversation. Parang nasa training lang tayo, no? So we'll recap for everybody baka sa mga hindi nakahabol. So we're basically talking
Oo.
about what's your purpose, and we started by understanding what purpose really is. You can just rewind and recall, siguro rewatch yung part na yun kanina. We had a good discussion on that. And for us to find our purpose, we went through these questions. Yan. So yung first question natin kanina was, what do you like doing? Okay? So ikaw mismo, for those of you watching or nakahabol ngayon lang, you can answer this question later after watching this live. And then next question to answer is, why do you like doing that? Diba? In the first place. Bakit gusto mo mag-bake? Rocky, 'di ba? Kung yan yung purpose mo, right? And the last question that you can actually, ponder upon is, or answer, is, can it impact people or even the world kung kaya? Hindi naman kailangan mundo, but pwedeng tao lang. Pero siguro for the three
Yeah.
of us, the last question that I'd like to siguro raise is, having known that, now what's next? We don't have to answer it now, okay? But what's next for us with that
Well, siguro
purpose?
for the immediate future, di ba? Especially since it's the pandemic. And, well, I guess we are tasked with a bigger task now
Mm-hmm,
uh,
mm-hmm. True.
because of siguro the enormity of um, what we need to accomplish. But siguro in the immediate next is to really, I, for one, personally, want to learn other learning styles, if we can call it that, or I want to learn other techniques. Yeah, to be
Yeah.
able to deliver effectively, especially on an online platform. Because I know that we're already doing
I
it, but
agree.
I'm sure that there's more. Alam mo yun, parang there's more out there that I can learn so that I can be more effective as a trainer. So yun yung next ko talaga is to
Nice,
be able
nice.
to build up myself so that I can be of better service to others.
Yeah. Nice, nice.
Nakaka-touch naman yung mga comments. Maraming salamat naman, guys.
Uy, thank you guys. Thank
Nakaiyak.
you, VR.
Holiday
Well, hindi mo na
nagmamahal.
kailangan magmakaawa, sabi ni Rocky.
Oo nga. And if at least there's one person who believes in what you're doing, just
Thank
continue
you,
doing it.
yes,
Sabi
of
ni JP.
course. Laban lang.
Thank you.
True, 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 true. Uy, maganda rin
And
sinabi ni Rocky, oh.
helping.
Helping is my main purpose. Ayan. Ay, wow! Talaga?
Oh, wow. Kudos to
Yes.
you, Rocky.
Like a voice for those who don't have
I
voices.
like that! Uy,
Very
seryoso.
true.
Oh my gosh! Ano, na-appreciate
Maganda.
ko si Rocky more. Grabe.
Oo.
Hindi ko alam to, Rocky. Super. Yay!
Very, very
Oy.
true. Very, very true. Love it.
Ako naman siguro, what's next? I don't know. I mean, it's for me to figure out. I don't have the answers just yet, but I'll keep on doing what I'm doing, right? And put
Yep.
and situate myself in the right place na nakaka-impact, nakakatulong ng tao at the end of the day. Especially now, right? Sabi nga ni Mikey parang in this trying times with all these changes. I think
Yeah.
I just need to keep on doing what I do, what I love doing for other people. Yes. Yon.
True.
Amy
Yes.
Winehouse ko naman.
Ako naman. Well, I really fully intend to equip myself with the skills, I guess. Kasi it's one
Okay.
thing to just, converse. And syempre, it's also careful. It's also important to be careful na what I say won't cause that person to be even more depressed or let's
Right.
say, di ba? So it's a slippery slope. And I want to learn, I want to be better so that I can help more and be better at helping. So
True. True.
that's what
True.
I intend to do to maybe learn more, to get more certifications or whatnot later on. Hopefully in the near future, if I have the time and resources to do that, I definitely will. So, yun.
Perfect.
Yay!
Yay! But siguro
Share nyo din, guys. What's next for you there?
let's go through some of the answers dun sa Twitter naman.
Yes.
Let's
Yes!
do some of
We
Yes!
had some
them.
very interesting answers,
Oo
guys.
nga.
So, Mikey, I'll try to pull it up first, and then if you can just go through some of those na screenshot mo na siguro.
Sige. So I took a few screenshots. And guys, thank you for
Oo
responding.
nga.
We really
Nakakatuwa
appreciate
ang
it.
mga posts nyo.
Nakakatawa. One of the first ones was actually Joy. Joy, if you are in the chat, she
Nice.
said, um, hala, nawala ko talaga. Eto, my purpose is to make myself happy. Bahala kayo dyan. Basta masaya ako, yun lang yun. But hey, diba? I mean,
True, true.
definitely
Yeah.
it is one of the things in life, diba? It's very important for us
And
to be
yes.
happy. Kasi nobody
And if
wants to live
you
a
can't,
miserable
right.
life, right?
True. If you can't make other people happy, at least be a happy presence in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Parang, di ba? Parang be a good vibe.
True, true.
A vibe. Be a good vibe, yes. Very true, diba? Ayan. So, Nika is trying to put up, hala, ano yan? Char.
Ito yata. Ito ba yun? I found one.
Yan.
Yes.
This is the one.
Ah,
Ano
no,
ka
that's
man?
different though.
It's different.
But
Okay.
it is a comment about, because we responded to her. That's a great comment, Joy. I believe in that
Oh,
too.
okay.
And this is her response to that. Yes, natutunan ko yan sa inyo.
Oy.
Hey.
Ito ba hinahanap ko talaga? Nahirapan ako.
Sige.
Gusto mo yun? Ayan. Ayun,
You can
ito
look
yan.
at that,
Ito, di ba?
no?
This is the one. Or iba to?
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay, okay.
Right.
That's from
So,
Joy.
actually, may sobra pa, may dagdag pa siya. Ayoko sumagot madami, pang matalino lang yun. Hala, Joy. Ano ba? I mean, we are all, entitled to our own opinions. And all our opinions are valid.
True, 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 true. Mikey, I'd like to siguro read one tweet kanina by
Yes.
Aria. Ito,
Aria.
this really resonated with me eh. Can you see it?
Mm-mm.
Nababasa or is it too small?
It's a
Pakihan ko
little
lang.
small, pero go lang.
Yeah, may
Yan,
ano kasi
nakita
dito,
ko.
no? May
Ayan.
style.
Better?
Ayan, yes.
So, I don't, is Aria
Dolce,
a girl or
Dolce Aria.
Dolce Aria? Is she a she or a he? Anyway, so he or she says, my purpose is to become an inspiring musician, to succeed and lift up others while doing so. I am to not only give quality work and performances, but to touch hearts and soothe the weary. Gusto ko to. Whenever they hear my art, I would love to be that beauty in a world full of ugliness. Exactly. Yung sinasabi ko kanina eh, na
Yes, I
like that
feel you.
diba? Kaya, Aria, thank you so much for this. Very
Yes,
nice.
Aria. Very, very. Yes,
Uh,
nagpapakang tayo dyan.
what do we go from top to bottom, Mikey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that would make sense.
Ito. Nababasa mo?
So, Makoy Koy says,
May ko.
my purpose is to be someone's jowa. Charot.
Why
Alam
not?
natin kung sino yan. Alam natin kung sino yan. So, if you're, I think everyone is aware already that Makoy Koy is a huge Ian Pangilinan stan. In fact, he
Yes.
wrote another comment which is attached to that.
Ah,
He said something like, um, actually, he said, my purpose is to love Ian Pangilinan and support him in his career and sa lahat na aspeto ng buhay niya, ganon.
sure.
Yay! But he also said, my purpose is to bring joy, laughter, and happiness to the world. Yeah.
Ayan na, sabi niya.
There you go, to bring joy, laughter, and happiness to the world. And there's the Ian comment.
Ay.
Love Ian Pangilinan. Support him.
Super, super Ian Pangilinan fans.
Gusto ko yun.
Yes, we love that. Cool. Thank you, Makoy Koy.
Okay. Here's
Yes. And
another
then
one.
there's Ma'am Yao. Go up a
Okay.
bit.
Sorry. Ayan. Okay, go.
Yan. So Ma'am Yao says, my purpose is to be the right mom for my kids. To be the mom my kids need me to be and not the mom I think my kids should need me to be. There is a difference between knowing what your kids need and thinking what your kids should need. Oy, totoo
Nice.
yan. Diba? Very,
Wow, that's
very
very
true.
smart.
It is. Kasi diba, parang, I think as adults, we always think na parang we know what's best for the younger ones, but maybe they
Mm-hmm.
know what's best for them, and we just have to be able to
Yeah,
see that and support them in that. Alam mo yun?
True, true.
correct.
So very, 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 very wise, Miss Mamia. Miss Mamia! Si Kiko naman.
Sabi.
Ito si Kiko, ang resident Calapero. Charot! Purpose is to be able to live freely like your fine organic tomato. Gabang
Yes.
lang na kapangero to. So guys, huwag kayong magpapalasing. Gapang
Wag-
is like
True, true, true.
nakakabaliw. Yan. Sir Will. Sir Will naman. Gwen, ikaw naman basa.
My purpose is all-purpose cream, charot. My purpose is to leave a legacy. Ems.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, maganda yan. Maganda na pag-isipan natin yung legacy na yan. Perfect. I
Anong
support.
legacy ba yan,
Go for
Sir
it,
Will?
Sir Will.
Yes.
I think he wrote something else in addition to that. Let me try and find it.
Sa
Pero
sige,
sige lang.
Ay, where is it?
Sige lang. Maybe, mahanap natin mamaya.
Okay. Oh, here's another. This is by Jerky, oh. Ayan, sabi naman niya.
Go.
My purpose is to be able to use my passion in creating ideas and visuals to inspire or help other people. That through my works, it will have an impact of some sort in the people that see it. Yes,
Yes,
my
diba?
heart. Very nice.
Dahil
This
dyan,
is a very good example of using your skill and your profession to be able to create an impact, diba?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, exactly.
Very true, very true. Ano pa ba?
Ang ganda. You're able to associate what you like doing, your passions, your interests, and to make it something that, helps other people, diba?
Yeah.
Yes. O si Popoy naman.
My purpose is to discover my purpose. We all have our own timelines. Others may have discovered theirs already. Many are still searching. Along the journey, we will discover whatever it may be.
Agree.
Yes.
Definitely.
Correct.
Oo nga naman. To discover ultimately what it is.
Nice.
Not
Kasi,
everybody gets to discover their purpose, by the way, no? So,
Agree.
and there's a
Right.
lot of benefits to it. Parang yung sa video, Nico, that we were talking about. Na-share yun the people who actually get to find their purpose and pursue it are happier in their lives, and yung quality ng lives nila are better, and they're more productive, and they're more successful.
Very true. Very true.
Very true. And I think I know it's also a reminder. Now we don't really have to compare our journey to others because
True.
they may have
Exactly.
started earlier than you, or other people may have had other circumstances or other situations. So I mean, you should only compare your journey to um, your. I'm sorry. You should only compare your current path to the path that you were on before. So parang, where are you now? Are you still at point A or have you moved on to B, C, etc. Diba? Kasi there's
Mm-mm.
always going to be progress. Now, the pace is different for you than for others, but
Mm-mm.
you should be at the pace that, I mean, you're exactly at the pace that you should be in, I think. Now,
Right,
if you
right.
feel na medyo mabagal siya, then change it. Do something about it. Diba?
Sure,
Don't
sure.
compare yourself to others because they have different lives and they're different people.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're different people.
Right, and
Yeah.
sabi nga ni, sino to ulit?
Si Neil.
Si Neil, yes, okay. My purpose is to continue to do the things that I love, no matter what, di ba?
Yes. Oh, by the way, Neil, also Nate pala.
Nate,
He's also
Nate.
known as Nate. He has a YouTube channel. He does reaction videos. So
Right,
look
right.
for Nathaniel Subida, and
Subida.
then you can go and check out
Okay.
his reaction
Subida.
videos.
Cool. Alrighty, Nate.
Yes.
Yes, yes. O, basahin natin yung kay birthday boy naman, Lance.
Yes.
Yes. My
Tatlo talaga nilagay mo.
purpose to
Go.
realize that my purpose is to
Right.
find my inner purpose and is
Sige.
to continue to tell stories.
Tell stories.
I'm
Yes.
wondering if the purpose
And
has something to do
yes,
with a yoga pose,
I look
like cat,
forward to listen to those
ano yun?
stories
Cat's
and look at
pose.
those poses.
Yes. And yes, he is a writer. Yeah, so
Yes.
he tells he has a lot of stories to tell.
True.
Yun. So sana maging ano rin series or maging ano no, yung ano niya, yung stories niya.
Right.
Yun yung kay Arya.
Wait, yung
Oh,
iba talaga, nahalo talaga tong, yung iba, nagha-hashtag talaga ng my purpose.
correct. May
Hindi
iba
sa atin.
talaga.
Hindi
Hindi
sa
yan
atin.
sa atin. Pero I know there's one by Mouse. Mouse was able to provide a response as well.
Oh, okay. Sige, read. I'll try to find it. Go, Mikey.
Sige. Let me get. Okay. So Mouse, because I tagged them, diba? She
Yeah, yeah.
said, she says, existential crisis left the chat. Char. Honestly, hindi ko, by the way, Mouse is Malaysian, but she can speak
Mm.
Tagalog. So she says,
Oh,
honestly, hindi ko alam. I just want to be content, and hopefully I can always find willingness to live life and maybe share that spirit to others. Simply being a supportive person for my circle and slowly expanding it to others.
Nice.
Yun.
oh, very nice.
Diba?
Right, right, right.
So just to give you a background, and I think this is okay because she shared us part of her story, is that Mal's sometimes experiences emotional issues or emotional challenges. So she experiences existential crises. So yun, parang she's been at a point in her life wherein
Really?
she's thought about, you know, what would it be like if she were no longer here. So that is why this is a very, very strong message
Nice.
because she says, hopefully, I can always find willingness to live life and share that spirit with others. So if you feel, guys, that life is too much for you, there are other people who may be in the same position but are still able to live
Oh.
and move forward. So Mouse. I mean, if you want, and
Yeah.
she's shared that with us as well. That if you need someone to talk to, you can approach her. So go
Nice.
ahead and do that.
Nice,
Connect.
Maganda
nice.
nito. Maganda to. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I love that about me.
Meron pa dito kay Mikey, oh. Kay
Hey,
Jude.
Jude. Ayan. It's really hard to answer. For one, someone's purpose differs on the circumstances they're in. Exactly. Diba? The point in their life, the roles they play in varying settings, and other factors. Sabi nga sa Avenue Q, everything is only for now. And that's very true, diba? So for example, let's say, just put it into context, and this is just me in my head, di ba? For example, you're in the country, and then parang you've never known a world outside of the country. Then, of course, whatever happens to you is because of the circumstances that you find yourself in. So most likely you're going to be a farmer, and that probably is going to be the only life you know, and that is going to be your purpose to raise livestock. But then let's say you go to Manila, where there are no farms,
Mhm.
where there are only the steel jungle, kumbaga, or the concrete jungle. Then of
Right.
course you're going to find yourself in a situation wherein your purpose is going to change. So siguro yung magiging ano ka na, let's say office worker, or maybe you work in the stock market, whatever. So it really changes depending on the circumstances that you find yourself in.
True. True.
Mhm.
It's true.
I like this
Very true.
also. Yeah.
Nice. So many thoughts about this topic, ha. I love it. Mapapaisip ako mamayang gabi nito.
True.
I will lie in bed
And
and just think.
brother, yes, I was just looking at it. So brother says, I have worked in the slums of Ay Charing. My love language is acts of service. So my purpose is to serve. Sabi nga
Nice.
sa hypermarket, happy to
Oh,
Happy
serve.
to
happy to
serve.
tell
Kaya pala sabi mo, open market market
Ah,
ka, girl.
Ay, sa hypermarket ka, girl.
I love the love language reference,
Right.
brother.
Happy to
And
serve.
I mean, it really ties into into who you are, di ba?
True.
So
True.
tama. So yun, service. Very good. And I think there's one more. Yes, from Edge. So my purpose in life is to help others. M's. Pero actually, this is very true for Edge because number one, I'm not sure what his real job is, but one, he does a lot of marketing for JoJo, the singer. Two,
Oh.
he also
Really?
does he also does a lot of promotional tweets for a lot of BL shows.
Actually.
So I think that's basically what it is. He's helping others. So yeah,
Yeah.
very true. I think that's all of it.
That's all of it, no? Nabasa na natin lahat. Wala tayong na-miss out or anything.
I'm double checking. I'm double checking.
Oh my gosh, it was so heartwarming. Thank you so much to
Oh,
Right.
there's actually
everyone.
one more from Gabby, from
Go, go.
LM.
Okay.
She says, "My purpose in life is to retweet funny tweets." But hey, if
Oy, nakakatuwa yan, in fairness.
tweet helps other people, it helps brighten their day or puts a smile on their
It
face.
does. It does.
God.
Hey, by all means, yes,
Super LM. Yes.
very
And
true.
laughter is very
That's all of it.
therapeutic, by the way.
Very
It
true.
is. It is. It is. Very
I mean,
much.
it's easier for you to. I mean, Filipinos, diba? We all say na parang. I mean, everyone says that Filipinos are very resilient, and then you always see them smiling. And I guess that's because tama nga. I mean, it's just a testament na when you have a positive outlook, no matter how bad things get, if you have a positive outlook and you
Right.
are able to put a smile on your face, it makes things better, at least in terms of an emotional perspective.
Aww.
That's
Ah,
all of it. Hey, thank you
amazing.
guys. Really appreciate everything that
Internet.
you shared.
Para
I
tayo nag-greet
love this.
Parang tayo
Oo,
nag-retweet.
parang ako yung audience. Sila yung host.
Parang ang ganda talaga ng camera mo, ma'am. Bakit ganun?
Ah,
Diba?
Oh,
Bakit
this
ganun?
sino
Yun
ako
na lang
ba? Char.
ikaw talaga.
ikaw.
Si Nico. Thank you,
Si Amy
cellphone.
Gusto ko
Amy
yan.
wine glass lang ako.
Gusto ko naman,
Yung pag-beehive hairstyle mo.
by the way,
Oo.
thank you to VR Rosa for this vacuum flask. Thank you. I love it.
Love it.
Yung sana natin.
Ayan.
Ay, nakakatuwa. Thank you so much, guys. And I really hope that you guys also find your purpose and help other people find their purpose too.
Yep.
Spread the word, ika nga, di ba? Because
Yes.
Right.
it has a lot of benefits and advantages. It makes the world a colorful place.
Ay.
In a purpose-driven place.
Very. But I
True.
also like what Mikey said kanina, na parang especially in the pandemic, right? Sometimes we lose track of living, right? We try to set aside living. We resort to staying in our rooms and be confined in our ano ba to? Parang cave, cave talaga.
The
Totoo yun, di
four
ba?
walls.
Four walls.
Oo.
But once
Correct.
we remind ourselves of our purposes, minsan na sisiglahan tayo eh, di ba? Parang, oh ano, marami pa pala ako. Ako, I get excited. Like tomorrow, like, I won't, I feel like I'm gonna be reinvigorated. Char. I don't know.
Yes.
Gusto natin yung word na yan.
Uh,
I
pero
feel like I'm gonna be reupholstered. Char.
repolster, yes. I like the. I feel like I am reupholstered today or tonight. Char. Furniture
Laban.
Refurbished.
refurb.
Yes.
I like talking to you too, like all the time. But this is really
Oo,
a
me
Same.
too.
good conversation.
Girl.
And to all our,
Mm. And
our
to all the people in the
kachikahan
chat.
viewers.
Uy, guys.
Oo.
I know that there are 6,000 of you,
Lagi na
but
nga lang
we
ako
appreciate
nakabasa eh. Permanent ako nakabasa. Hindi na ako nakatingin sa camera. Nagbabasa lang akong comments.
Oo.
actually.
Natutuwa ako. Sobra akong naaaliw. I like
Yeah.
reading everyone's comments.
Yes, guys.
Kahit
Thank
yung mga
you.
kahit yung mga conversations nila to each other.
Yeah.
Natutuwa ako.
Actually, those are very interesting conversations.
Yeah.
Color the world. Yes.
Refurbished though is
It's always on my quotation.
Always on my quotation.
yes, ilaban natin yan, Rocky. Uy, nag-post talaga si Rocky ng banana cake niya talaga sa Twitter. So
Uy,
check it.
pinag talaga tayo. Hindi,
Oo.
mamaya ko ito check.
Nirito ko na yata. Nagutom ako. I love banana cake.
Hi, I'm gonna have a snack after this. By the way, guys, if you liked our conversation tonight, please go ahead and share this with your friends. Tag
Yes,
them
it's
or
true.
put it on your timeline, and then spread the world. Spread the world. Ano raw?
World!
Make it
Yeah.
flat.
Let's make it flat. Nakakainis yun.
Just spread it. Para hindi na ako mahirapan. Nabubuli ako for some reason tonight. I don't know why.
Diyos ko. And siguro, they spread the news. Kineme. Sure. Siguro, it's a way for us to help other people as well, right? It's not just
Impact.
for us. Let's have more impact on other people. And let's share this conversation with everybody else. We need to help each other
Yes.
in this pandemic,
And
everybody.
also, guys, it's because we like chatting with you.
Yeah.
So,
Oo,
your perspectives
super.
help us. So, the more people who also share their perspectives, the more that we learn. Diba sabi ko naman kanina, I like feedback no matter what it is. Because I like learning from people.
Wait lang, may hilo talaga si brother. Purpose-driven
This was a
life.
purpose-driven life. Yes!
I love it!
Brother,
Benta
benta
yan!
Yung
Gusto
benta
ko yan. I-hashtag ko yan.
I like that.
That is so correct. I-hashtag ko yan sa Twitter. Our
Rick
purpose-driven life.
He said it. Rick
It's such a
Warren.
Gwen statement.
It is. It's a Gwen statement. You guys
It's a
are gonna
Gwen
die,
joke.
I'm sure.
I love
Uy, by the way, when this pandemic is over, guys, I want to meet all of you.
Yes!
Oh
For
my,
real, for real.
can we please?
Over
Kape
coffee
tayo.
or, I don't know, kahit sa plaza lang.
I will do.
Site. Gusto ko yan. Meet and greet.
Seryoso.
Hindi talaga.
Uy,
And then
pero
go our
ako-
separate ways.
Grabe. Uy, pero alam nyo, like sa Twitter, like I really have fun talking to them. Super. Kasi dati medyo ako ermitanyo ako sa Twitter, hindi ako marunong. Pero like,
GDM
Ako
mahirap.
din.
Ang daming ganap. Hindi ka
I just
makasunod.
got back again.
At least sa timeline,
Right.
scroll mo makikita mo
Correct,
yung mga
correct,
mention sa'yo Pag sa
Yeah.
GDM kasi parang,
Ay,
hala,
challenging.
When I started Twitter, wala pang hashtags nun eh.
Talaga?
Kaya nga no, when I got back on Twitter, parang iba na yung world. The Twitter universe has really transformed.
True.
Correct.
Hindi ko na alam. Tsaka di ba
Sama
may
din.
limit na yung characters nung
Correct.
maikli lang.
120
Talagang one
characters.
sentence lang yung Twitter before.
For Etsy
It
lang.
was 120 characters, but now it's
Grabe yun.
800.
True.
Very true, very true.
Oh my god, seriously.
Yes.
Oh, I enjoyed tonight, guys.
Super,
Me
super.
too.
The same.
Parang it got through talaga. How do you say it? Parang, I don't know how to say it. Affected ako. Ganon.
Okay.
Na-affect ako.
Oh,
May impact siya sa akin. Yes.
Yes.
The purpose-driven life, Hindi ko talaga makakalimutan yan. We are. Perfect yon. Thank you so much. But guys,
I think we
Yes.
need these types of conversations from time to time, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that deep naman, na super sasabog na yung utak natin. These are just experiences, right? We just need to reassess
True.
ourselves where we are now, and just need to regroup and talk about these things again for us to live in our lives. Char. Purpose.
Driven. Yes.
And I think, on a personal note, I think
Yeah.
it's important for us to have these conversations. Because, I mean, we have enough conversations about very mundane and I wouldn't say shallow. Pero parang surface level conversations lang. So to be able to have these sort of like purpose-driven lives, I think it's very important because it grounds you, or it sort of like realigns you
Yes,
to
exactly. That was the word I
why
was looking for.
you should be doing the things that you are doing. Alam mo yun? Kasi parang we forget And sometimes if we forget our purpose or if we
do.
forget our core, kumbaga, then things become haphazard and a little bit harder to put into perspective. But when you have a clear vision of your purpose, of your life, of what you want, diba? Then it makes things easier for you.
It's like a reminder, di ba? When we get lost in the everyday, mundane things na parang you're living life one day at a time, paying bills, doing chores.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget those aspects that make life meaningful and worthwhile, di ba? And sometimes these conversations remind us of the important things talaga.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's right.
Natawa ko sabi ni VR, sige Mikey, yung balik-batik na bomber pala.
Ako sabi mo kasi bigyan ng jacket si VR. Edi ayan, yung pinost
talaga, hindi talaga ako nanalo.
Ang ganda ng
nakapili na sila. Pero ang
super
ganda
Hindi
ng
ko alam
bomber niya.
yan.
I'll share it with you later.
Sige.
Super ganda siya because it's hand-woven and it uses indigenous designs.
Right.
And weaving. Pero it's kind of expensive. That's why I wanted to win one. I think the price that I saw was like 6,000.
Ganun siya. Pero ang unique ng design di ba? It's not like the regular jacket na parang binili mo lang like off the super like department store. Ito parang Remember, they have an Instagram, di ba? I followed them already. Sabi ni Mikey So
I did it.
Nice. Share natin with Gwenny later. Super nice.
Ayan, sabi ni Rocky, after pandemic, kita tayo. Bentahan ko kayo ng banana cake. Yes, banana lang ang may puso, Rocky.
Ako sa banana cake.
Banana lang yung may puso. Gusto ko yan.
Pero kahit magkita tayo, Rocky, do you accept GCash? Kasi,
After pandemic, cashless pa rin tayo. New normal na yan.
Nasanay na tayo sa cashless.
Cash mo na, Rocky.
Ayan.
Yes.
Hi. Ready?
Yes, that was a great evening, guys.
Thank you so much.
What are we doing?
Keep living our purpose.
Yes. But what are we doing next week? March na.
Abangan natin yan. Yes.
It's gonna be a surprise, even for us right now. I mean, medyo chill kami rito sa Thursday. Parang, I mean, we'll see.
We're still waiting for our calling.
Yes, we're waiting for an epiphany. So,
and
watch
Benok.
out. And Subscribe to our social media if you can, guys. We're
Yes,
on
please.
Facebook and Twitter and
Me
Instagram, and of
too.
course
Twitter,
on
Instagram,
YouTube.
Facebook.
You know,
True.
I mean,
Ay,
if you
ano,
want to, and stay updated on what we're gonna post.
sabi nga ni Mikey, no, kasing chill tayo ng headboard ni Mikey. Char.
Uy, may nag-auction. Ay, may nag-ano, di ba? Last
May
time.
nagbibid.
May nagbibid.
Sila Rocky talaga yun. Sila Rocky.
Ay, sila Rocky ba yun?
Oo, si Rocky at saka si
1 peso.
VR. Diyos ko.
Ang funny.
Kulit. Kaya gusto na ipa-re-upholster ni Mikey yan para di na mabenta.
Correct. Papangitan na natin to.
Oo.
Ay, nako. At
Alright,
least yung chair na yan, may purpose yan.
Yes.
And sorry, American Express lang po. Well,
Ay,
sige.
so sorry.
Laban. PayPal na lang.
Yes.
Pero naman yan sa PayPal, di ba? Alrighty.
And Benok, we miss you. We'll see you next week.
Ben.
Yes.
Sumama ka na sa amin.
Yes.
Diyos ko. Yes.
See you guys next week, please, see us again. And tune in.
Okay.
And by the way, guys, if you have suggestions on topics that we can talk about,
please.
let us
Yes.
know. Message us on social media or tweet us. Diba?
Yes.
Kasi, syempre, you might have ideas, that we haven't thought of. So, share.
Let us know.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I think that's where we end our live. Our purpose.
Maraming salamat, guys. Yes.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being
This was
here.
a fun night, and we'll see you
Yes.
again next time here on Thursday Talks.
Thank
Have
you,
a
guys.
happy almost weekend.
Yes. Pahinga na tayo.
See you next week. Stay safe.
Bye.
Wear a mask. Always use
Stay
alcohol. Wash your
safe.
hands. Stay connected. Bye.
Stay purpose.
Stay purpose.